It's 2:01, so I'm already a minute late. It's up to you.
We know someone who's coming late because she had a car issue.
Okay. All right. Welcome. My name is Sister Jan, Jan. Craven is my last name. I've seen many of you before. Some of you have new faces to me. Okay. And I was asked by Sarah Mahady to speak to you about a woman. Can you get?
The woman.
The woman. That woman. One year I gave a talk and I called it That Woman. We do everything because of
That woman.
Yes, okay. Sarah asked me to speak about that woman, Mother Theodore, and she said I had about 8 hours, so... Okay. My responsibility in life right now is I'm in charge of her shrine. Well, I hope so. It's been fun, it's been challenging, but it's been a treasure and a pleasure for me. I'm the one that gets the calls and emails every day almost. Please send me a first-class relic of Mother Theodore.
Oh, no.
Yes. And I have to sadly write back and say, no, you cannot have a first-class relic. Now, y'all know what a first-class relic is, and if you don't, here's what you say. I was absent that day in class. You always say that when you don't know an answer to something. Is that correct?
That's it.
I was absent that day. Hello there. Better late than always. Yes. Are you the one that has car trouble?
No,
That's another person. Mother Theodore had car trouble too. Okay. But she traveled a lot. And if cars existed in her day, she would be on one. When we gave our motorcycle blessing a couple of weeks ago, I gave the talk and said, if Mother Theodore, she's traveled on steamboat, train, horseback, stagecoach, and then I would say to these characters, if there were motorcycles, she would be on one. And then we had a Jeep blessing, and I had to do the same thing there. Oh, my. But this talk, I'm privileged to do, I called it, first of all, Sister Paula follows me. We work together. Ay, ay, ay. We live together. Ay, ay, ay. So in 8 hours, you have your talk. Yeah, okay. I call this talk Ordinary and Extraordinary, because that's who she was. And that's who we are. I want to relate her life to yours all the time. And I want you to do the same without a talk in front of you. Relate her life to yours all the time. And it's easy. Because she had some extraordinary experiences, as you have, as we have. And but she saw her life always, 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 at least she tried, through the eyes of providence. What's providence? God. Hello. Through the eyes of God. How does God see it? How does providence see it? Okay. Everything she wrote, providence flows right through it. Everything she wrote. Okay. Any authors here? All right, that's okay. We talk, don't we? Everything we talk. So, she was holy and earthly. She was pious and practical. She was God-centered and people-oriented. She was solitary. She liked her quiet time, which we do. And she was communal. Any party she was at, I'm convinced of it. All right? She traveled the rocky seas, the oceans. The ocean was a sign of God for her. What's the sign of God for you? See, that's what you have to ask. What's the sign of God for her? What's the sign of God for me? So those are the things I want to challenge you through this talk. And hopefully you will carry this on and do this as a practice in your life. Okay? She was a tender mother and a loving sister. Tender mother. How many are moms in here? Ay, ay, ay. Okay. So the question to ask ourselves and challenge ourselves is, how ordinary are we? I think we won't have trouble saying that, how ordinary we are. But how extraordinary are we? Are you going to have trouble with that? Hey, don't. Get over it. You know, why not? You know, be honest. That's humility. Humility is honesty. Be honest about your accomplishments and the wonder in your life. Be proud of it, okay? So, one good question is, how would your family and friends describe you? Whoa, that's a good one, isn't it? How would your friends and family describe you? And then they let you know what they said. And then you can say, oops, change this, change that, right? Right. You know, her journey. And how many have been on a cruise? Oh, my, several of you, yes. When are you going?
Oh, no. Not a big cruise, like a little cruise.
Oh, a little cruise. Where? A river cruise?
Right.
The Wabash River?
More exotic.
We'll talk, okay? She was on a cruise. She would not call it that. 6 weeks. Yeah. Dramamine, no Dramamine. Okay? So, and it changed her life, as travel does. Travel changes your life. I would highly encourage it. Okay. Her legacy. Now, if you went to the dictionary and looked up the word legacy, you wouldn't go to the dictionary. You'd go to your phone. Google. If you Googled the word legacy, what do you think you'd find?
Something handed down.
Something handed down. That's pretty close. That's pretty good. Your legacy. Do you have one? Oh, she was here almost 16 years, shy of 5 months. So not even 16 years. Died in May on a Wednesday. And then they wrote her obituary. And I have access to that obituary. It's fascinating what they wrote about her. God bless you. If you had a chance to write your own obituary, whoa, what would it say? And then if you don't have a chance to write it, what would it say? You know, if you don't have an opportunity to write it. I brought all kinds of things with me. We try to let the world know about our Mother Theodore. We have brochures. We have prayer books. We have prayers in the shrine for people to say. We have holy cards to give to people. These are called Words to Live By. They're little tiny cards with her quotes. I hope you have one. We did this, 24 years ago on the New Millennium, Providence of the New Millennium. We have folders that talk about Providence. A book, look at this book on Providence, Reflections for the Journey. Paula, you wrote this, part of you. You probably forget it. She wrote this book. It's really, really cool. You and who else? Ruth Johnson. Yes, there you go. And you what you did is you brought up all kinds of trees around here. Who knows all the names of the trees around here? I don't. A linden tree, yes. Is there an oak out there? Yes. A maple? Yes. Walnut? I mean, it's called the woods. Hello. And then what you did is you compared the qualities of that tree to Mother Theodore. Cool book. I want your autograph later. All right. This we wrote in 1996. I mean, come on. So, and it's all to try to share her legacy, to tell the world who she is. We have a ways to go. We have a ways to go. But when I get these requests for relics, all right, what country do you think asks me the most for relics?
France.
No. Yes. Taiwan? You would think. No. Rome, Italy.
The U.S.?
Even the United States. No. The Philippines. She made it over there. I don't know how, but she made it over there. They, all the time, they ask. However, she made it over there. They love her. They love her. Okay. Okay. When I think of her legacy, guess what? It's this place. It's this place. And guess what? It's you. It's you. You are her legacy as well. We all are. All right? You know, when was the first day of college here? I call it her baby, this college that you graduated from. It's her baby. Now, when you have a baby, how long does it take? Oh, no.
I know. I'm sorry.
You know, did you have car trouble? Are you the ones?
No,
not yet. I'm asking everybody that if they've had car trouble. Okay. You ate too much. Okay, I get it. All right, we'll forgive you. But we are her legacy. But the first day of school, the very first day of the academy, it wasn't called Saint Mary of the Woods yet. It took a while. It took a long time. The first day of the academy, if you know the answer, don't. Hey. The 4th of July, 1841. 9 months after she got here, 9 months, her baby, got it? All right. So that's how you'll remember when it opened, the academy. One student, a girl, yes. And her name was Mary. You might know, of course, yes, of course, okay. Next day, 3 more students. Isn't that cool? I mean, so it doubled in enrollment. I mean, when they say they double in enrollment, that's really cool. Okay, that's really cool. And this, it's getting good. It's getting better, much better, much better. But it wasn't, I think, I was trying to look up when was the first graduating class. When was the first graduating class? What did I say? 18... No, you'd think the first graduating class of the college, you would think it would be 4 years later. It was like 1899 or something like that. It was weird. It was so weird. The first Bachelor of Arts degree was given in 1899. But it was named St. Mary of the Woods, I think, 1928 or something like that. So get your history down now. Get your history down. Okay. I want to do a little visit through the shrine. How many have never been to the shrine? It's okay if you raise your hand. It's okay. So you all have been there to the shrine. Okay, it's 10 years old. It opened in 2014. 2014, so it's 10 years old. Who graduated in the 1800s? Nobody. Okay. That's good. All right. It's okay if you raise your hand. It's okay. How about the 1900s? Sometime. 1, 2, 3. Yes, come on. Okay, the 1900s. How about the 2000s? Anybody? Where are they? Huh? Where are they? Yeah, we're back there. Okay, we're good. All right. But anyway, the shrine. This is what I say when people come to the shrine. When you become a saint, and that's what they do, they laugh. Not if, but when. How many think that? No, you don't think that way. When I become a saint. Do you think Mother Theodore thought that? I don't think so. No. When I become a saint, they're going to have to build me a shrine. No, she never thought that. But when, in the Catholic Church of ours, when you are a saint, you're declared a saint, in 2006, that's when she was declared a saint, they started the process of her becoming a saint somewhere around 1908, 1909. First miracle somewhere, and we don't, till 8, do I, oh. I can't go into everything, okay, but, so, CNN calls me. a woman journalist. Sister Jan, yes? Come on down. Did you have car trouble? No. Okay.
When Barb shows up at the door,
All right, okay. All right, CNN. Yes, why do you want to come here? Well, we want to do a documentary on Mother Theodore. It's okay, not okay. Yes, on Mother Theodore. Oh, I thought it was, going to be me, but it's okay. Mother Theodore. Why Mother Theodore? Why do you want to come here and do a documentary on that woman? Well, the next question, this young journalist says to me, have you ever heard of Pope John Paul II?
no.
Duh. Yes, I have. I think this was 2013, somewhere around 2013. And then she says, he died. Really? I mean, seconds after the man dies, the world knows. Hello? So, we want to do a documentary on the two of them. Whoa. We want to compare their lives. Oh, isn't that nice? That's cool. And then she said, they want to make him a saint right now. Really? Well, that's what they used to do in the early church. If somebody died that you knew, Santo, Santo, make them a saint right now. And they did. That's why we have thousands and thousands of saints. And the next session is on women of the Bible. And you'll learn how many women of the Bible there are. And you will also learn how many you have never heard of. Okay. So, Mother Theodore and Pope John Paul II, they want to make him a saint right now? Yes. And we want to do a documentary on someone who went through the slow track to canonization and someone on the fast track to canonization. Oh, okay. I mean, it took her a long time, from 1908 to 2006. I mean, 98 years. That's how you remember the year she was born, 98, 1798. You just have to remember the 17 now. Okay. So they came 2 or 3 times. They loved it here. They loved it. And they did a documentary on her life. It was wonderful. And then it previewed on TVs. You can Google it and find it out and watch it. Truly, it's great. But you know how it is. At the very last part of this documentary, what do they bring up? Money. Money, money, money. They brought up money because of how much it costs to get somebody canonized. And I said, is that why they wanted John Paul to be canonized right away, so it wouldn't cost so much money? Millions. It cost us millions. A couple million. And, that's what they said. So they did their research, they did their homework, they found out how much it costs our community to get that woman, canonized. And I'll tell you, but they never said why. What did the money go toward? It's over 98 years of trying to get this woman. You have to hire people to work on the process. You have to hire people in France. You have to hire people in Rome. You have to hire people here. Then the travel back and forth, to pay where they stay, pay what they eat. It costs money to get. So when you become a saint, start saving right now. Okay, there you go. Saint account. There you go. Saint account. Very good. So I'll tell you, World War I comes along, stop the whole process. Hire a canon lawyer over there, one here. Stop the process, no travel, we can't travel because of the war. Who up and dies? The canon lawyer. Hire a new one, start the whole process over. This goes on. World War II comes along, guess what? Stop the process, people die, people live, whatever. That's why it costs that much money. Then you have to give a gift to the Pope. We did our homework. What did the last community of women who had a saint canonized for them, what did they give to the Pope? It was a nursing community Guess what they gave to the Pope? An ambulance. Or two. Could have been two. For the people of Rome. $150,000 ambulance. Or ambulances, whatever. $150,000 it cost. So, okay, that's about how much you have to give to this here wonderful Pope. Here, Pope, here's $150,000. We want it back right now. Give it back. And here's why. We know that Mother Theodore, why was she here? For the sick poor, to start a school. So we want to start low-income housing just a little bit away from the mother house. And he gave it back. It was great. It was great. So anyway, Paula knows I get sidetracked, but these are good stories. So it's good for you to know these things about Mother Theodore. You would never have known, okay? All right. So we're in the shrine itself. We're in the shrine. The first room of the shrine is called the French room. It's to honor her home country. So what would the first room of your shrine be called? The
Wisconsin room.
Okay, she would want the Wisconsin room. Be a bunch of cheese everywhere. All right. You think? Is anybody here from another country? So all of you would probably pick your home state. Okay, so that would be good. That would be good. All right. I would have a bunch of Buckeyes everywhere. But we have everything in that room about France. Everything is in that room about France. And some artifacts that she touched and she utilized, and pictures of the Queen, and medals that she got, and the organ, that organ. Oh, sent here in 1853 by, it was in the World's Fair over there in Paris, and shipped here for her. She played it. So it's a relic. Send me a second-class relic. No. Hello? No. Off goes the organ. I don't think so. All right. So what would be in your first, what would be in the Wisconsin room in your shrine? You know, what would you put in there to really say, this is about my home state. So you learn about me from artifacts that are in the room. And then what would the storyline be? What quotes would you have in there that you said? So we have quotes that she said in that room. There's a picture of Notre Dame Cathedral from, not Notre Dame in Paris, but Notre Dame in Siez, S-E-E-Z, I think that's how you say it, Siez, whatever, S-E-E-Z. And that's where she worshiped the night before she got on board the cruise ship to come here. And then she goes to the chapel here. Ha! Notre Dame, log cabin chapel. This is the house of the God of the universe? This thing? Her God is big. Don't make your God small. All right, her God is big. Next room, the ship room. I always have to enunciate that when I'm talking to kids. We are now entering the ship room. Okay. Oh, so in there's a couple of things that really were hers. Her suitcase. Her little tiny suitcase. Little tiny thing. 6 weeks she had access to that thing. We could not do it. No. The other thing that's in there, her prayer book. There's a little orange in there. Now I had 3rd graders come through. Is that the orange that the rabbi gave to Mother Theodore while she was on board the ship? Patience. No, I got that at Hobby Lobby. But at least they knew the story. They knew the story. Some rabbi, she was not feeling good. And she didn't want to come here. She didn't want to come here. Mother Mary, in charge of her in France. I noticed you didn't raise your hand when I said, who wants to go to Indiana? You not raise your hand.
Understandable.
No pressure, but if you don't go, none of us go. Okay, I'll go. She wanted to go to China. But she also said, I can't go there either because I'm not well. I'm not physically well. I'm really, really not well. So if you have a chronic illness, guess what? She's the person to pray to. If you had siblings die when you were young, she's a person to pray to. If your father was murdered on the way home from military service, she's a person to pray to. If you're a math teacher, she's a person to pray to. She had a good business mind. That's why Mother Mary, who said, if you don't go, we don't go. You're the only one that can pull this off. All right, so besides, we have differences of opinion on things, and if you're out of here, that's the backstory. There are backstories to your life too. You know, in between the lines to your story too. Things that you don't want published too. Huh? Oh yes, we all have them. We all have them. She had them too. Okay, so next room, immersion into the forest. Paula knows. Okay, who designed the shrine? 3 of us. Paula and I, and this lady called Dawn. Sister Dawn. The 3 of us designed, implemented, planned. We talked about it. Did we talk about it? It took us a long time. So we knew what we wanted in there. So we knew that we wanted her to be relevant to people's lives. Relevant. So we really, but we also then we made a huge mistake. Okay, sisters, what do you think should be in the shrine? Ask a bunch of women, what should we have in the shrine? Well, I know she wants this, and this, and I also know this would be good, this would be good, this. 461 ideas later, suggestions we gave to the architect and the religious designer, and being a good Catholic altar boy, they tried to put all 461 ideas into the shrine, and they did. Yes. And it cost $26 million. And we said, I don't think so. So once we got up, they brought this PowerPoint presentation to us, showed us this beautiful shrine. It was going to be in the basement of the church, not the Blessed Sacrament Chapel, but the church. Big, big, huge. Knock out a wall here, put in a garden there, classroom here. Blah. I mean, it was beautiful. But it also, once they picked us up off the floor, the sisters started saying, I don't think she wants this. I know she doesn't want that, or this, or that. We got practical like her. We got practical. So it only cost $2 million or whatever. Okay. So, but I say this here is, if we did have that $26 million, she would go from the ship room to New York City. Because that's where she landed. She loved New York City because it reminded her of France. Phenomenal. And then I have to travel on to the Wild West, Indiana. So in that immersion to the forest room, what's in there are her shoes. Her shoes. Why did they save her shoes? And they really were not, she didn't wear them inside. She wore them only outside. But my first question, all the time, how tall was she? You know, you look at her shoes. You look at shoes, and you can almost determine how tall a person by the shoes. 5'8". She was 5'8". So it's amazing. It's amazing. Hi. I'm not going to ask. Okay. Okay. All right. Great. Then another room we go into is immersion into suffering. Whoa, I bet you would have no trouble finding artifacts for this room. Immersion into suffering, or the storyline into this room. What would your immersion into suffering line be? You know, what would your tagline be into your room, in your shrine, on immersion into suffering? You know, what would it be? Hers was, she had unbelievable suffering that followed her around, truly. From day one, I don't want to go. It was awful. Bishop, day one you'll have a house, you'll have a school. Then the minute you land, nope, nothing. And then, you're going to have a house. I'll be there to greet you. Was he there? No. Was there a house there? No. Was there a school there? No. Did they get off on the wrong foot? Yes. Okay. So who came out? Sarah. Sarah Thralls. Sarah Thralls. What are you out there? Who are you? There were 10 of them. 6 from France, didn't speak a word of English, and 4 American postulants who wanted to be Sisters of Providence, and they didn't speak a word of French. 10 of them, and Sarah comes out and says, who are you? Where are you going to stay tonight? And then the American postulants obviously said, where are they going to stay? We don't know. Well, you can come and live with us. We have plenty of room. Yeah. Now, here's where it gets tricky. I say to people, they had 8 kids. Oh, they didn't have 8 kids. One resource says they have 8 kids. Another resource says in the history books, in our archives, in the books, they have 13 kids. Another resource says 12 children. Now, what we don't know, we just don't know, but they had a lot. That's the point. They opened up their house to these 10 people, and there are a minimum of another 10, so that's 20 people in this little house. We all know people like that. And then you have to say, am I like that? Would I do that? That's what you have to say. When you learn about her life, you have to say, would I do that? Could I do that? Should I do that? Would my husband agree to open up my house to 10 strangers? And who moved out first? The family. We're out of here. They all moved. The sisters lived upstairs and the family lived downstairs. That's one resource. Another resource is they lived in their barn, in the garret, whatever that is. And they were able to share one room on the downstairs floor. So regardless, 20 people in the house. So the families, we're out of here. We're out of here. So they moved. And then the bishop finally comes after weeks and weeks. Your house is ready. Hello. You can move out of this shack and into this nice house that I built you. No. We like it here. We're used to this. We're fine. I'll take your nice brand new house and make it into the academy. Yes. She wanted that to go so badly. It's going to be the academy. So it's beautiful. I mean, again, what do you give up to have something come true? What do you give up? A lot of things you give up. So again, try yourself to relate yourself and your own life to hers. It's fascinating when you consciously do that. Now we're off, in that immersion into suffering. Oh, when I have kids come through that room, I say, how many of you have heard of Princess Diana? Oh, does that age me, honey? Never heard of her. Some of them have. Now it depends on the age group. When did she die? 97. Good, 97. Very good, 97. That's what I do to the kids too. What year was Mother Theodore born? And I whisper in their ear, oh, you're so smart. Okay. Princess Diana. And I said, how is Mother Theodore and Princess Diana alike?
They died on the same day. Or a week or two.
Oh, a week or two? No, I don't think so. No, but good guess. I love when they guess. Always guess. You have nothing to lose. No, that's not right. All right. So, Mother Theodore and Princess Diana, what's common about them? How did she die? In a tunnel in Paris, France. How, though? Well, who was it? It begins with a P. Paparazzi. Who said that? Paparazzi, yes. They were following her in order to do what? Take her picture. And she was trying to escape. Well, guess what? Some gentleman, you've seen those old cameras, not like that one back there. Old, and they're on a tripod, and they have this cloth over them, those things. A gentleman was always following her around. Can I take your picture, Mother Theodore? No. Over and over. Can I please? No. Her spirituality says, if I allow my picture to be taken, I'm not humble. I'm not humble. I'm vain. She would not believe in selfies, for sure. Okay? But I think she had a shower thought. See, you have to start to imagine things about. Do I know that she had a shower thought? No. But I'm imagining it. So that's what you have to do. I'm imagining she had a shower thought. If I let him take my picture, I'll get rid of him. He'll stop bugging me. Thank goodness we had someone that bugged her over and over and over again. We would never have had a picture of her. So we do have an actual photograph of her, so we know what she actually looked like. And that picture in that room, the immersion into suffering, take my picture and get lost. I know that's what she was thinking. So she doesn't look real happy. Oh, if you go into that room and you see that picture on the wall, you know, where her bowl is that she ate from, and her rosary beads, and her wallet that she took to Kroger, and the other artifacts that are in that room, her habit, that cross that, it's not her habit, that's not hers, it fell apart. I mean, but that's what it looked like. So, but her cross is her cross. It's the same one in the picture. Same one in the picture. Only it's missing an arm, and that's another story. But we won't go there because we don't. Okay. So now we're into the chapel part of the shrine, into the chapel part of your shrine. What's going to be in there? Oh, the casket. According to the church, 2 things have to be in the chapel part of the shrine. They have 2 requirements. They tell us what we have to do, and then you're on your own. Everything else is on your own. And they don't give us 1 dime to start this shrine. So the body has to be above ground in a casket. And those 3rd graders, can we peek inside? No, honey, come on. And then there has to be a first-class relic in the room. So if you're going to be cremated, we're going to have a problem here. But we'll figure it out. Okay. So what's a first-class relic? Part of your body. A bone or a piece of hair, something like that. So, and it's beautiful. That chapel part is just, people come in there all the time. I go down, they're praying their hearts out to Mother Theodore. There's 2 kneelers. You saw those kneelers? I had to have those replaced 3 times. Why? It's a good problem to have. Holes. Holes from people kneeling and praying to this woman. It's wonderful. And then I had these 9th graders. I was over by the first-class relic. It's over here on the wall, the 3 of her finger bones. And I say to them, unfortunately, we don't know what hand it's from. It's her right hand or her left hand. We don't know. So this freshman. Do you have your phone? Yes. Yeah. This freshman pulls out his phone. I could see it out of the corner of my eye. And he goes like this. What am I thinking to myself? He is texting his girlfriend. He has no interest in that relic over there. I'm thinking that, but I didn't say, I don't want to embarrass him. You should never do that, right? Okay. All of a sudden, Sister Jan, it's from her right hand. Excuse me? What do you mean it's from her right? What do you mean? Well, I want to be a forensic scientist, and I know all the sites to go to, and I took a picture of the relic. I said, oh, I thought you were taking of that relic. Okay. And it's her knuckle. He told me the whole story. It's from her right hand. Now we know. I mean, why should I not believe him? The guy that was, okay. The other story that I want to tell you about that room. Right outside that room, we have these sheets. How many of you have written an intention on these sheets? Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people have. I have banker boxes filled with these. It's amazing. If you would go down there, read through some of them. Truly. What are most of the themes about? Health. Family. Pray for my Mother Theodore. Please intercede for. And then they write, right? Okay, here's some. For Danny. Okay, good. We'll pray for Danny. For David. For a liver transplant. Ooh. Okay. So I come down every once in a while and I read them. One day, and the lines aren't too thin. They're pretty. It took up 2 lines. 2 lines. Now who writes that big? Young child. Yes, a young child writes that big. What did it say? 5 words. Mother Theodore, please pray for Please pray. 5 words, and a lot of them are misspelled. Okay. That they stop shooting us. Right after a school shooting. That they stop shooting us. They're praying to saints. What other recourse do they have? Years and years and years of us shooting children. What are kids thinking these days? Society doesn't care about us. Australia, 22 years ago, 52 children gone in an instant. They have 1 death a year now. They did something about it. It is possible. It is possible. Okay? So, it's interesting. It's so interesting. What we learn from Mother Theodore, right? What we learn from her. Okay. Then we leave that room, the chapel, and we go on to a new American life. And then you see her desk. You see the papers on there. They're hers, that she signed. Her wallet. The cross on the windowsill. You see that picture that hung above her bed. Do you have a picture above your bed now? That might make it into your shrine room. Oh, now some of you are laughing. I'd love to know what it is. Yeah. Pictures in your bedroom right now. That would be telling. What was this picture that hung over her bed? The death of Saint Joseph. Now, who thinks about that? I never saw that picture of Saint Joseph, the death of Saint Joseph. And there was Jesus and Mary. It's all in this portrait. And that hung above Mother Theodore's bed. She had a great devotion to Mary, and it's warm in here. So I'm glad that if we open that, that'll be warmer. Okay, so I want to do that. So her desk, her sewing table, her thread, scissors, keys to the First Academy. Huge. Can you imagine some sister carrying those on her, you can really hear her coming. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Also, there's pictures in there as you turn the corner of little Chinese munchkins, little children. Why did we go to China in 1920? Because Mother Theodore wanted to go to China. I was hoping that she wanted to go to Vegas, but she wanted to go to China. Okay? So we go there because of her. Would you do anything because of her? We do it. Our first alpaca, Theodore. Second alpaca, Madison, because that's where we went, a bishop, a priest. Mother Theodore, come to Madison, open up a school, please. Will you allow our sisters to teach music? No. We're not coming. I'm thinking, she loved music, wow. And I always tell this story in front of the organ. It's in the French room, that organ. Oh. Okay, if you'll come, we'll let you teach music. Then will you come? Yes. What's behind that whole story? Were the sisters paid 1 penny to teach in the school? No. Not until 1991. You check that. Were they paid to teach music? Yes. Mother Theodore knew that. We have to put food on the table. They're paid to teach music. It's not, it had nothing to do with her love of music. So in the 80s or 90s, the 1980s or 90s, and Paula can verify this, Sister Donna Markham was General Superior of the Dominicans in Michigan. She went before her bishop. The LCWR is the Leadership Conference of Women Religious. They all got together and said, we have got to be paid for what we do. It's about time. It's about time. Okay, so let's have a plan. So they got a plan. Go to your bishops. Give them some time. Go in May and say in September we would like minimum wage. That's all. Minimum wage. So Donna go off to her bishop. She goes, Bishop, in September we're going to ask you to pay the sisters minimum wage. That was on a Friday. And on Monday, 209 Dominican sisters were fired. And that happened all across the country. It happened to our community as well. And the laity always says to us, why did you pull out of the schools? Did we throw the bishops under the bus? No. I'm doing it now. Okay. Okay. All right. On to the next room. Whoa, wait. Okay. That last room is fascinating. I love that room. That's where it's called Immersion into Mission and Legacy. Mission and Legacy. You have to, what's my mission? You have to proudly say, what is my mission in life? Do you have one? You better. You better have one. You should have one as an individual. You should have one as a family unit. You should have one as an extended family. What is your mission? What drives you to do what you do? Sisters of Providence, we have a mission. It changes periodically, but we have a mission. Okay? So, immersion into mission and legacy. This is where I pick up that nun doll. There's a nun doll in there. I said to Paula and Donna, I have to have a nun doll in there because I hold it up when the kids are there. This is Sister Mary Barbie. We don't have a Sister Mary Ken, but it's a Sister Mary Barbie. And I say to them, when I was 10, I would go to my dad, Dad, take me to Idora Park. It's like Disneyland, only this small. I can't take you, Jan, today because I have to drive the nuns to the store. So, why can't they drive? And I hold up Sister Mary Barbie and I say, this is why they can't drive. No DMV in their right mind would give a license to anybody who wore something that covered this part of their face. And that changed in 1960, where it went from the covered wagon, I call it, so my term of endearment, covered wagon, to the baseball cap. Boom. It opened it up. They were out the door getting a driver's license, and the world became less safe. So in that last room, the nun doll is there to tell that story. And I do think one of the most beautiful, here's a poignant story. Again, these were little fourth graders this time. There's a picture of that beautiful bronze statue of Mother Theodore with a little child, and Mother Theodore is pointing up and the little child is looking up. That's in that last room of the shrine. And it says on it, love the children first and then teach them. That's one of her most famous quotes. Love the children first and then teach them. I had a little fourth grader. She looked at that, and she looked at it, and she looked at it. See, her teacher was in the room. She says to me, she calls me aside. She called me into the other room, the shrine. She says, would you tell my teacher that quote? Would you make sure my teacher reads that over and over again? Oh, yeah. So that happens all the time. She brings out some wonderful things and some sad things. So again, I challenge you to think of yourself when I become a saint. And that really helps you to reflect on your own virtues, your own goodness, your own beauty, your own holiness. We were born holy. It didn't take baptism to become holy. We were born holy. Born in the image and likeness of God. I'm preaching this to these kids, right, in the chapel area. This little, fifth grader, 10 years, jumps up out of his seat. He goes over to the casket, and he goes like this, and he says, we're all holy. Oh. And his mother was on the other side crying her eyes out because he said that. We're all holy. I said, yes. And we go through life forgetting it. And we need help. That's why we have the sacraments and our best buddies. That's why I have girls' night out, right? What's your name, sir?
Dylan.
Dylan?
Yep.
Do you have boys' night out ever?
Not really.
We need to surround ourselves with people who will tell us and remind us how holy we are. Okay? Promise? Because that woman loves you. Okay? And thank you. Thank you for being here, for returning to this place, her legacy and yours. Don't ever forget it. Thank you. Thank you. Woo. Okay. Questions. I have 8 minutes, but do you need a break? Couple questions. Come on. Anything at all. Not that I'll know, but anything. Yes?
Did any of her family ever come to your house?
Not her direct, not her she was from four in a family. The 2 brothers died by fire in the home. So she did have a sister and her mom. Her mom died before she left, but her sister was still living. And when she went back in 1841 or 1842, did you? Okay. She was able to see her sister. Now her sister got married and had a family. One of those children came over here as a Sister of Providence. Oh. Yes, isn't that cool? And 5 years ago, 6 years, I don't, maybe 10 years, I don't know when it was, but it was kind of like within 10 years. And she had this French accent. She came to see me. My name begins with a D. What's her name? Come on. Anyway, she's Mother Theodore's great niece. Oh. Yes. And she really came to see and experience the shrine and see this place and where's her aunt, her great aunt, what she did, what her legacy was. It was phenomenal. And she said, I wonder if I should be a Sister of Providence. She's married now. And I'm so happy. I get pictures of her kids, her little kids. So they're doing fine. They're doing fine. They live in Texas. And I said, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Well, I kind of like am working for us to get to the moon. She works at NASA. Hello. Oh. She works at NASA. And so does her husband, Tim. They both work there. So they now have changed from the moon to Mars. Okay. So it's wonderful. She's shooting high. So let's do this, okay? Another question.
The thing that surprised me today is how you said it started like maybe in 1908 or whatever for this. Because we were in the 70s. I really got the impression that it was like around that time, and they were trying to get the 2 miracles and all that. So I don't know what years those were. Yeah, the first miracle was around 08, 09.
And that was Sister Theodosia, named after guess who? Mugg, M-U-G-G. She had stomach cancer. She was 42. And the sisters, whoever was in charge of the sewing ministry of that time, had to make her a special skirt for her habit because the tumor she was distended. It was awful. So she had this special skirt. This is all in the storyline. It's amazing. And she was down in the crypt. That's where Mother Theodore was at the time, down in the crypt below the church. And she was praying to Mother Theodore for her friend who was sick. Not for her. She said, I'm history, and I'm fine. The doctor said I have a month or so to live. I'm good with that. Yay, I'll be, She was fine with the whole notion of dying. And, but I want my friend to get better. So she's walking up the steps from the crypt, and she's saying, she was overheard saying something like, I know you can do this. She said it out loud. I know you can do this. So she had a pretty good relationship with Mother Theodore. The next morning, at least this is what the story says in the book, written by her. She lived till she was 82.
Wow.
The next day, she went to put on her skirt. It fell off of her. She was the first miracle. I always say, what happened to her friend? I always want to know what happened to her friend. I really do. I don't have any idea what happened to her friend. I'd like to know. Maybe I'll read up on it. Okay?
So what was the second one then?
The second miracle.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going to be your first miracle? See, you're already thinking, what's going to be your first miracle? What's going to be your second one? Now, this is true. You can help me out here. This good Baptist gentleman who worked for us. Phil. So, Phil McCord was diagnosed with, I don't know what, with his eyes. Do you know what he was diagnosed with? He was losing his sight. And he was told eventually, not too much, he'll go probably blind. Okay. He heard organ music. Isn't this how it goes? He heard organ music. Somebody was practicing the organ. And he went in to sit down and prayed to Mother Theodore. And he regained his sight. Good Baptist. So Mother Theodore doesn't care. Doesn't matter.
Jan, what year was it? Do you recall?
Well, it was before 2006 because, you know, it was the early 2000s. So, and then I get calls, and I know this person say, I know this was a miracle. I know, and that's great. That's great. There are miracles that we see all the time. They don't make it into the headlines. They don't get rubber stamped good housekeeping seal of approval, but we know they exist in our lives all the time. Okay, so look for them. So you have to have 2. So that's the second one. And then he went off to Rome to be there at the canonization. It was wonderful. And then he died on the golf course. You know, he retired to Florida, and several years later, not that year, you know. Phil, okay, yes.
So Guerin was her family name.
Yes.
So Saint Therese de Lisieux.
Yes.
Her mother's family name was Guerin. So were they related at all?
I have no idea, and I should research that, and I would love to say yes, but I really don't know. And you know what? Don't be afraid to say I have no idea.
No.
Okay? Too often we say yes, or this is the way it is, when we have no idea. But, you know, I do get those questions a lot from her, the family name. And other family names with Guerin, I think I might be related. But
So how did she end up with Theodore?
her name, I'm going to tell on you. When you come, now I don't know how it was in Mother Theodore's day, but in France, her name was Anne-Thérèse Guerin. Anne-Thérèse, beautiful. But when you enter a religious community, you have to be given another name. You're putting on a new life. So they gave her the name Sister Saint Theodore. Can you believe it? I like that face. She goes, Sister Saint Theodore. They gave that to her over in France when she was a young sister, 24 years old, right before she got smallpox. Hello. Okay, so Paula, you enter in 1967. Okay, 67. You're given 3 names that you can give to the community, and they have to pick one of those 3. Tell them your story.
Well, okay, we're over. Okay.
It's only 3 o'clock, but this is all part of the Women of the Bible.
Oh, okay. So my 3 choices were Paula, and the sisters told me I'd never get that name because there had been a Sister Paula, and she was lovely, and she was very kind, and she died at a very young age, so that I probably would never get that name. Okay. My second choice was Paula Louise, which is my real name, and I hate it because try saying it. Right. So I thought, so I said, I really don't like this name, but it's my given name. And I didn't have a third choice. I really didn't have a third choice.
You couldn't think of something.
Yeah, well, I just didn't want any weird name. So it was right. We entered on August 30th, and May, you know, the Indy 500. And guess who had won that year? Mario Andretti. And so the postulant said, hey, Paula, we know you're not from Indiana, but Mario, that's kind of a fun name, and he just won the Indy 500, and it's Italian. And so I put it down as kind of a joke, feeling like they'll never give me Mario. And I was the first person to get my name, and they said, Paula Damiano, you will be known henceforth in religion as Sister Mario. And behind me, I hear, and I had to tell my parents, oh my gosh. It was traumatic.
So that's how you get a name.
Yes,
Now, that's how, now, and it changed in 68 then.
It
Then you can
changed
keep your
68.
own baptismal name, then you can keep. So it changed in 68. But up until that time, you were given a name. So she was given this name. Okay, folks, Paula, thank you very much. You're on.